Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACCUPLACER Tutoring. I just want to thank you guys so much for giving me the day yesterday. It was a rough one. Another death. I just could not handle it. So, with that being said, I broke my promise of always being here for you guys. So hopefully you guys will give me that moment, and I appreciate it. So, Baltimore City seems to be on a reconstruction, so everything is going on outside. So if you hear things beeping, it's not because I'm backing it up, because something else outside is getting backed up. So what we are doing today, we are looking at adding and subtracting functions. So when we're adding and subtracting functions, sometimes they use a different notation, especially with functions that when you see it on the test, you're probably like, what is that? All right. Now, this in particular is going to be shown for the TEAS test as well as ASVAB. Okay, especially if you get a little bit higher up in the ranking and you're doing well with the test, it usually gets a little bit harder as you're going through it. So I want you to at least try to get one of these questions just to squeak on by to solidify your passing score. So what we're looking at is not fog and golf, as like some people would say. What we're doing is we're taking two functions. Okay, we have an f function and a g function. It could be anything. It could be an F, it could be a G, it could be an H, it could be a J, what have you. Okay? So, F plus G of X. This is basically saying you're taking your F function of X and you're going to add it to your G function of X. So, all you're doing is you're combining like terms, right? So now when you're subtracting, you're taking your f minus g of x, which is the same as saying you're taking your f function and you're subtracting it by the g function. So for this, when you're subtracting, you want to keep in mind the whole keep, change, flip. Okay? So we're going to have to change to make sure we have the right integer and the right signage. All right, so let's get to it. So we're not going to be here too long. I'm trying to hold it all together. So I'll be in here crying like a crazy person like I was literally 10 minutes ago. So we're going to have two functions. So let's say the g of x. That is your 2x minus 2. And we're saying the f of x, let me change colors here for you guys. So the f of x, that's x plus 1. And what we're trying to go for, just going to kind of smoosh over a little bit. What we're basically going to do, we're looking for the g plus the f of x. Okay, so let me unzoom just a hair. Okay, so all we're basically doing, and I'm going to do this with the color change so you guys can see it a little bit better. So we have our g function, we have our f function. So since there's a plus sign in between, it's basically saying this. I'm going to translate it over here. It's saying you're taking your g of x and you're adding it to your f of x. That's all that we're doing right now. So for my g of x, we have 2x minus 2. Okay, we're going to add it to our f of x, which is x plus 1. So from here, all we need to do is combine like terms. Okay, so when we combine our like terms, we have 2x plus 1x. Remember, if we don't see a number in front of the x, which is called a coefficient, if we don't see anything, it's assumed to be a 1 in front of the x, not the x itself. So that means if I have 2 x's here and I add one more x, that means I have a total of 3 x's. And now I have a negative 2 plus 1. So if I owe somebody $2 and I paid them $1, that means I still owe them $1. Okay. There you go, Michael. Good. There you go, Rocket. Negative 1. Good. All right. So we can say that the g plus f of x is equal to 3x minus 1. Okay. So all we basically do is combine two what's called an expression, and we just build another expression out of it. Okay. Hey, Austin, how are you? All right. So now let's get with another one. And I'll keep with the blue and red theme. It seems to be working for us. So let's say, oh, of course I switched it up. Let's say we have the f of x is 4x minus 3. And the g of x is equal to 2x, we're going to keep it together, minus 4. And what we're looking for is the f minus g of x. Okay, good. All right. It does seem easy peasy, right? Right? So now we have to be careful. I switched it up on you. If we were doing exactly, I know, I had to do it. If we were doing exactly the g plus 4, the g plus that 4, Jesus, f, it will give me that 6x minus 7. But changed it up on you. So now this time we're doing the f minus g of x. So that simply means f of x minus g of x. Okay, so all we're doing is setting it up. So I'll write my f of x first, which is my 4x minus 3. But now we're going to subtract. So when we subtract, I like to put parentheses around because we're going to be subtracting not just the 2x, but the 2x minus 4. So this is when you're going to do what's called keep, flip, or keep, change, flip. Okay? It could be keep, flip, change for KFC. Hey, we all like chicken. Okay? Why we're doing this for KFC. Hey, we all like chicken. Okay? Why we're doing this. And you're probably like, oh, that's so unnecessary. I'm like, I know. But the reason why I'm doing this, I'm going to keep my first expression. So that's my 4x minus 3. I'm going to change this minus to a plus. And then I'm going to change or flip all the signs that I put in the second expression. The reason why I have us do this extra step, and if you feel like, you know what, I don't really need that extra step, Audrey, I can keep track of it. Awesome, do it, let it go, right? But this is what happens. Everyone sees the minus and the 2x, and they're like, all right, 4x minus 2x, that's 2x. Not a problem. That's real easy. But then they forget. Then they'll say, oh, negative 3 minus 4, that'll give me a negative 7. But that's not the case. you're also subtracting a -4. When you subtract a negative, it's almost like saying you're taking a negative times a negative. That's where this +4 comes from. So it's actually going to be -3 plus 4, which that gives me a +1. Okay. Logarithms are the ones that get you? Yes. All right, good. What math is this? We are still in algebra. All right. Hello, C4. There you go, Austin. Yak, good. All right. Is it Sharika? Good job. Okay. So we see it now. Oh, hey, Renee. I didn't know it was you. I just saw the thing. Yes. So we're still working on algebra. That was a slight heart attack. Sorry. So this is going to be what the f minus g of x is. So what we're doing is we're arranging it so we can get our like terms. When I do pre-calculus after algebra, I know I'm going to step it up during the summer. I know I'm going to be doing like some algebra 2 stuff, since I'm going to be doing a lot of algebra 1 and getting people ready for their exams with the course, which is starting on Monday. So there is still time if anybody wants to sign up for the summer math prep course for GED, ASVAB, and TEAS tests. Also ACCUPLACER. So there's still time for it. If you want to donate, maybe just to help someone that wants to take the course and they can't afford financially, just go ahead and message me and we can take it on there. All right. Hello. All right. Hey, mi gente. How are you? Antonia. Nice. How do we sign up? If you go to my website, let me see if I can venture in there for a second. I'll just do a quick little spiel and then I'll get right back to it. All right, so if you go to my profile, right now you see this link, that's my website. Click on that and say you're about to go to my website. Yes, we know. So I'm gonna click on that. Here's my website. So if anything, we can scroll on down. And when it gets to want to pass the GED ASVAB TEAS assessment, okay, we got the registration starting on June 9th. I will extend it to the 21st. But remember, I've already done 4 classes. You can still get the replays of it. So once you click on Learn More, just scroll all the way down. And then you have either you want to access the 147, which I'll show you the difference between the two. Okay, but this is what you guys will get. You will get 12 weeks, and I'm seeing you twice a week. So that's 24 sessions where I'm breaking down all concepts, everything from what is a number, looking at the prime, composite numbers, all that stuff. And all the way up to like factoring, including a little bit of geometry, which is your volume, and some surface area, especially with the rectangular prism. Then if you can't make a session, that's fine. There are going to be replays. Okay, I'm going to have a special playlist on YouTube, so you can just go straight in there. It's only people that have the course. It's not going to be public. Then you also are going to get some homework assignments, okay? You're going to get some test taking strategies, which I normally do on here. And then we're going to have a Q&A session. So the first session, the Q&A session will be towards the end, roughly like a half an hour. What are your questions? But for the second session on, we're going to start with the Q&A. So like, what were some of the problems that you had with the homework? What is something that you realized that you're like, I really don't understand that? So we can address those before moving to the next part. Then you can get copies of my pages. And then again, there's no pressure, no judgment. I'm just here to help you. So at the end of the 12 weeks, what I would love for you to do is to sign up for that GED, to sign up for the ASVAB, to sign up for the ACCUPLACER or the TEAS test, and to take it, because then all this stuff is fresh in your head. Okay? All right, so I already said who's it for. And then this is the difference. So for the 147, I also have a payment plan. There was another payment plan that I have that I forgot to put up here. But if you have like 75 down, you can do 75 and then the next month 75. Or we can put down 50 and then do like a weekly so we can get it all the way up. Because I know a lot of people don't have it all together. And then you can order notebooks, but the difference between the Access and the bundle is if you want to do tutoring, I'm actually going to add like 2 free tutoring sessions with the bundle. But anything after that, it will be like a $45 charge, which, trust me, you may think is expensive, but I normally charge $87 for my one-to-one tutoring. So you got that. So if anything, $615. Okay, basically $613 per session. You're not getting that anywhere. I know there's some places that does it for free, but that's basically what you're gonna have to do. I mean, if it's free, you wouldn't be on my live watching for more access. Now, would you? Not to be cheeky, but that's where it goes. So that's where you will go. If you want to learn more about Audrey's notes, I definitely have them on Amazon, and also I have them on my books by Audrey Codner. And then if you want to do like a course, but basically self-paced, I have you, because I have a self-paced course, which also gives you the practice. And again, we have office hours. So if you ever get stuck, you're not going to be just by yourself. Okay. So if you need to get unstuck, I also have designated office hours. All you have to do is just contact me and just say, yep, yes, you can, or no, you can't. Okay? So we'll get to the whole spiel. And then, of course, my math notebooks. Anything and everything is in my website. Okay? And if you ever have questions, please do not hesitate to DM me. If you're looking for a tutor for the summer, maybe you have to, maybe you or your kid has to, catch up on some work instead of going to summer schools, because I know some districts are doing summer school online, and you're like thinking, hey, if they struggled during the year, what makes you think they could do it by themselves online? I don't know. Maybe that's just how I think. But that's where you would go to sign up. All right? But if there's any questions, please DM me, okay? You can actually fill out the contact form on there as well. And now I lost you guys. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes. And now I lost you guys. Okay, there we go. All right. Yes. Oh, thank you, Antonia. My FIP. Oh, you do? All right, good, Crystal. Yeah, not a problem, Austin. Thank you for mentioning it. You love your notebook? Oh, good. Kiki, how are you? All right, so I will do that spiel again later on, but at least I want to kind of get it just in case people have to leave to go back to work and so forth. So back to what we're doing. We are basically adding and subtracting functions, okay? And what we're doing is we're basically piecing things together. But you always have to take a moment to take a look to see, are you adding the things together? Are you adding the functions together? Or are you subtracting them? So I'm going to keep with my color theme. So we have two functions. So we have our g of x. And this time the g of x is x squared plus 2. And the f of x, got a little funky with the f, will be x plus 5. And what we are trying to do, I want to know what the g plus f of x represents. So for those that are just coming on and you're like, how did that get in there? How do you do that? Well, this is what you're basically doing. You're taking your g function and you're going to add it to your f function. So what I mean by that, we have our g function. So our g function is x squared plus 2. So I'm going to write that first. We have our x squared plus 2. And they're saying that we need to add them, so I'm going to put the plus sign. And then I write my f function, which is x plus 5. So all we need to do here is combine like terms. Okay? No, we're just getting started, Lisa. I know you're so used to seeing all that. I know. Yeah, there was a problem and it came back, Michael, so I have to resend again. Okay. Yes, so you are going to be a little lost with this because we need to build you up before we can get to this. Okay? But this is going to be on that clamp test as well. I was looking at that last night and that's what provoked me to start doing this. Yes, not a problem, Tango. Ooh, I got filtered comments. Ooh, what have you guys been saying? I mean, I left you alone for like 1 minute, just one day, and all of a sudden I gotta get filtration comments? Jeez. All right, we'll figure out what that is. All right, so now all we're doing is combining our like terms. The only two like terms that I see is the 2 and the 5. So my x squared and x, those are two separate worlds. Okay, the squared world and the standard 1 degree world, two separate. They can get close to each other, but they can never mix. But 2 plus 5, that will give me my 7. Okay. Okay. Am I blocking my comments? No. TikTok is, so I don't know what's going on. What are you guys saying? It can't take us anywhere. Thanks, Lisa. I needed that. I really needed that. Oh my gosh. I know, right? Watch, I'm gonna get an email. You need to control your people. I'm like, oh, no. You guys do whatever you want to do. All right. So this is my answer. Oops. Hello. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, but do you see what happened though, Austin? Okay. So it's not like you're multiplying the 2 to the x squared. That would give me 2x squared if I multiply them, right? Thank you, Mike, for that. Okay. Yep. So all we're doing is just combining our like terms. All right. Let me do a couple more. I'm not going to get too crazy with it before I get into adding a number into it. You're like, what? I'm like, yes. There's always an extra step. All right. So we have so let's say we have our f of x So f of x is equal to x plus 6. And let's say we have h of x. You're like, ooh, h? I'm like, yeah, just switching it up. But you're doing the same exact thing. So 3x plus 2. So what we are looking for, we want to know when f minus h. I want to know what that equals. Sometimes. Aw, thanks for the sunshine. You're spoiling me, Michael. Save your money. Hello, Kwanzaa. Thanks for the follow. All right. So, remember, f minus h of x, it basically means the f of x, what we get to represent the f of x minus the h of x. So all we're doing is we're substituting. What's saying my f of x? That would be my x minus 6. Oops. So that means we have x plus 6. I was looking at the minus sign and it just came out. Okay. It says minus, so we're going to bring down our minus sign. And then what represents my h of x is the 3x plus 2. And anytime it's subtraction, I always put parentheses around, because I'm not just subtracting the 3x, I'm also subtracting the 2 when I get my like terms. All right, so Rocket is saying 2x plus 8. Michael is saying negative 2x plus 4. We got a little conspiracy. One's a positive 2x, one's a negative 2x, one's an 8, and one's a 4. Who is right? I feel like Nero right now. Fight to the death! No, just kidding. So, someone's got to be right. Let's see who is. Let's take a guess. So, I'm going to keep this first term since I'm doing subtraction. Anytime I'm doing subtraction, I'm always thinking keep, flip, change, or keep, change, flip, or keep, change. That's another one that one of my students was telling me. I'm like, yes. I'm going to keep this x plus 6. I'm going to flip that minus to a plus. And then I'm going to change all the signs, because I'm going to subtract that 3x, and I'm also subtracting the 2. Okay. So now we need to combine our like terms. And our like terms, we got a positive 1x minus 3x. So I have $1 and I want to spend $3. Well, obviously I'm short $2. So that will be a negative 2x. Okay, so 1 minus 3 gives me a negative 2. All right, now we got 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2, that gives me a positive 4. So that means the f minus h of x is going to equal negative 2x plus 4. And that's what Michael and Austin mentioned. Okay, Rocket, we see what happened. Okay. Pop. Okay, okay. All right. But I love how you guys participate, you know? Love this. Okay, savor. Yes. All right. Want to try one for yourselves? Let's see what we got. Let's see if I can. I'm going to keep this up here because I know some people like to copy down the notes. Let's do. Okay, we can do this one. So let's say we have h of t is equal to 5t plus 6. And then we have the g of t, and that's 2t plus 4. And what we're looking for is h plus g of x. Okay, and remember that's the same as saying h of x plus g of x. Okay. Tell me what my expression will be, please. And then use the previous one as a guide. Okay. So Austin is saying 7t plus 10. Any other answers? Do we agree? Thank you for sharing the live. I greatly appreciate that. If you know of anyone that's thinking about getting the GED, that's thinking about getting the ASVAB or even the TEAS test, and they haven't seen algebra since they were a fetus, and you need a little more assistance, you know, definitely come to my lives. I'll actually show you where you can go to get all my recordings of my lives. Right now, everything is free. So if you subscribe, it's best for you to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe here to get notifications of when I go live. But if you go to my profile, you'll actually see I have a listing of when I actually go live. So I actually have a schedule. Took me forever in a day to get it, but here we are. Okay. All right. Nope, no negative to deal with, right? So we don't have to do keep foot change because there's no negatives to deal with. Okay, so it's not subtraction. Okay, taking a look, we're adding. Okay, we're adding. Okay, definitely take a look again. Okay. So I don't know if some of these comments are being blocked, but I only see like 2 answers right now. And remember, question marks is an answer, okay? You're not sure, okay? Or you're like, I think it's this. Go ahead, put it down. Remember, this is not Squid Games. You're not going to be knocked off by getting the wrong answer, all right? All right? Thank you, Rez. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. I know that was hard to do because everyone wants to be perfect, but guess what? There's no blessed thing called perfect. Mine's blocked. Yeah. What are you saying? Yeah, because I don't see your answer. Weird. All right. We're just going to make it. All right, there we go. We got another 7t plus 10. Hey, Rough Knot. Welcome in. Yes, I got knocked off. Squid Games. Monkey Kong. I don't even know the song. I don't want to even insult. It seems too simple, but 7t plus 10? All right. Hey, why does everything in life have to be difficult? All right, so here we go. We have our H. This is be a T. Sorry. I did put an X because I'm so used to X's. I'm not even going to sit here and try to lie. I'm so used to X's. But we do have our 5t plus 6. Hopefully that's not what hold a lot of people back. And then we have our 2t plus 4. So now all we have to do is combine our like terms. So we can get the t's together. That will give me 7t. And then get the 6 and the 4 together, because this is all addition, be plus 10. So your h plus g of t, not x, Audrey, t, and that will be your answer. Okay, so for people that are going after GEDs, also if you're going after your TEAS test, these are high value points. These are definitely 4-point questions. Okay, trying again. There we go. 7t plus 10. I see it now, Michael. I know, right? It's crazy. All right. So when they give it to you like that, take a look. If there is a plus sign or if there's a minus sign, you're basically taking those functions and you are subtracting them, okay? Or you are adding them. Now, what happens, because you know I got to do it, what happens if they put a number in there? And you're probably like, in where? In the expression. So I'm going to set this up. Go ahead and tap away. Let's see if we can get to like 11. 11K? That's possible? Here we go. Welcome to the shenanigans. Yeah, you thought you were just going to sit here and just be like, oh, it's just a cute little girl with a soothing, cool jazz voice that's teaching us math. Oh, that's nice. That's cute. Let me see what I can do with the latest dance craze. All right. I know. There's times I got to remember I don't have to be super, I just have to ask, like, hey, make sure you guys tap. Hey, make sure you do this. Hey, do that. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't forget to show me some love. Thanks, Austin. I know I had this one principal that was like, you got like a smooth, cool jazz voice. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And he was like, like you should be up and energetic. And I'm like, why should I be spastic in a concept that students lose their minds about? There's a reason why I talk nice, slow, methodical in a way, because it helps you. It really helps you to understand, or basically it helps you to focus more because it's less distracting. So, and also that's the reason why I use colors a lot for my instructions, so it'll be a little bit easier for people to maneuver. Okay. All right. All right. It's just Steve. Hi, Steve. How are you? Substitute A with 5. There you go. Just call Maggie. And tap all your hearts in no time. Oh, well, thank you, Michael. Look at you. All right. So this is what's happening. Okay, and there's a kind of little discussion going on between Steve and Maggie, which is awesome. So what is happening? Just like what we did before, this G plus F of 5 is the same as myself saying G of 5 plus F of 5. Notice the 5 is in the same spot where our A was. So just like what Maggie mentioned, we're going to substitute, because, you know, I give props here. We're going to substitute that 5 in for the A's. So you can take this one of two ways. You can add these two together just to simplify it and then substitute the 5. Or you can make life a little easier for yourself. Substitute the 5, solve, okay, get the numbers, and then add your results. I'm going to show you both ways, so then you get to pick which way works best for you. All right? So if I continue on with the theme of what we were doing before, we have our G function, right? So this is if without the substitution. The substitution will happen at the end. I'm doing it both ways. So if I got my G function, so I would have negative 6a plus 1. We are adding these two expressions together. Then my F function was 3a squared minus 3. Okay? So if I'm combining like terms, like I said, the 3a squared and a, two separate worlds. So I can't combine them. All I have to do is just bring them down. But the two like terms that I do have is the 1 and the negative 3. So 1 minus 3 gives me a negative 2. Okay, so this is representing G plus F of A. But we want to know what G plus F of 5 is. So this is when you take this expression, and wherever I see an A, I'm going to put a 5. Okay. All right. Okay. So now, this part here with the G plus F of 5, we're going to ignore that. We only use this to help to remind us what we substitute the A for. So we don't need any of this until the end. But now we got to do the work over here on the left-hand side. Here we go. I had another piece of paper and I really and truly do not know where it went, but here we go. All right, so now let's focus, boom, on this side. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That means we are going to tackle that exponent first, okay? Because inside the parentheses, we don't have anything to combine. So that means we have 3 times 25, not 10, because this is 5 times 5. Okay, minus my 30, minus 2. 3 times 25 gives me 75, minus 30, minus 2. Let's keep with the theme. So now we got 75 minus 30. That will give me 45 minus 2. And 45 minus 2 will give me 43. Thank you, just call Maggie. All right, so this will be your G plus your F of 5. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Okay, like for those that are new to my things, I like to give options. Okay, yes, there's always quick and dirty, but it kind of like some people like to get step by step like this. I'm perfectly fine with that. If I'm doing the exact same problem, okay, so I'm going to write a line with the word or. Exact same problem, so that means we had the, can you see this part? You had the G plus the F of 5, and we all know that it's going to be the G of 5 plus the F of 5. Okay, so the G of 5 is basically going to be a -6 instead of an A. We're plugging a 5 in. Then we are adding it to my F of 5. Now F of 5, sorry, F of 5, it dealt with 3 times that 5 squared minus 3. Okay. So now, if I work on -6 times 5, that gives me a -30. Plus 1 gives me a -29. So that's that part. That was the G. Plus, over here with the F's, this will give me 3 times 25 minus 3. 3 times 25 gives me 75 minus 3, which gives me 72. So let me bring down this plus, and let me bring down -29. Okay. So the 29 is negative, the 72 is positive. So that means the signs are opposite. When the signs are opposite, you're really subtracting, and you're going to take the sign of the largest number. So if I may do it more vertically than horizontally, a lot of people like to see it as 72 minus 29. If you do it that way, you're going to borrow from the 7, and then you bring your 10s to the 2. So now it's a 12. 12 minus 9, 3. 6 minus 2, 4. And that's how you get your 43. Now, when we're doing this lovely test, I know I probably bored you to tears. But when you're doing this as a test question, you're not going to have time to do both ways. Okay? Remember, when you take anything, standardized test, believe it or not, the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, okay, even like not your algebra courses, because algebra courses, they want to see your work. But in those type of quests, they just want to know, did you check or click A, B, C, or D? Sometimes E. Okay, did you pick the right one? They don't care about how you got it. Did you click the right one? You did? Awesome. Keep it moving. All right. So whichever you, one, feel comfortable with, and two, which will get you to where you need to go quick and a hurry. Okay, remember, this is a time test, but this is one of those 4-point questions. We don't want to shortchange that, because if we can get most of those 4-point questions and then get down some of your basic arithmetic, you're going to pass that GED, hands down. Okay, we just need to pass this test so you can go and do whatever you're great at. We don't want math to be that barrier. All right? Hey, Robert, how are you? Be quicker. Yes, I totally agree with you, Robert. Michael. Sorry, I was looking at Robert. Yep, the second way seems easier to you. Awesome. Yep. I totally agree. But you know what? It may seem easy to us, but it might seem like a tyrant to someone else. So that's why I like to show multiple ways. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at another one that you have to fill in for and do subtraction. I know. So let's take a gander. So let me separate this a little bit so you guys can see. All right, so we have h of x is equal to negative x squared minus 1. Then we have g of x is equal to negative 7x minus 1. And what we are looking for is our h minus g of negative 5. Okay. Have I ever taught IB math? No. Oh my gosh, no. I've tutored 3 kids with IB math, and it makes me want to go to therapy right after. Like, seriously, I can't. I'm sorry. Okay. You passed everything else for the GED? Okay. Austin, what was your score? How far away are you from it? Sorry, you're like trying to do math, and I'm like talking to you. Yeah, I don't know. It's something about certain lingo, and there's, I don't know. It's just not my thing. I think the reason why I think it's difficult because of some of the terminology, and sometimes when I read the question, I'll just be like, oh, it's slope. Why didn't they just say rate of change? And like sometimes like I have to understand what gradient, and I'm like, okay, I know what gradient is. But I think the details that they're looking for with IB is different from what we do here in the States. That's the only thing that's very extremely challenging. Because a lot of our kids are taught either to do what's like this, naked math. So that's why when it comes to like word problems, it's a challenge. And then when they have certain terminology that we in the States don't have connection to, it's like, well, how am I supposed to know? Like, I had one kid came to me crying. She was like, I was looking up the word gradient and I don't know what it is. I'm like, babe, it's slope. And she was like, really? I'm like, yeah, why didn't you call me? And she's like researching and she's like, I don't know what this means. So yeah. Yes, riddles. Yep. I really do. Like, riddle me this, riddle me that. And the beat back. All right. Yeah, so like if you ever look for a tutor, make sure they are involved with IB mathematics and maybe even I keep forgetting the word, GSSCs or something like that, GSCS, or I'm sorry. It's like the basic, the exam that they use in England, GSCs. Someone knows it, just put it in there. All right. So now, yeah, there's another letter in there. There's like 4 letters in there. We'll figure it out. But all I know is because that is more so what the international baccalaureate is derived from. Yeah, something. Yeah, I don't think it's GRSCs. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So for this one, how are we doing? Or are you guys waiting for me to break it down? Hold on. Puzzle piece. There we go. Bridget, how are you? Waiting. 2 before then told us to your way through the questions and try to get nice. Oh, through the points. That's yeah, interesting. All right, just BS your way through it, kids. You'll be fine. Because I'm not sure if they get to see the test ahead of time, so they'll give like some ideas of how to teach it. I don't know. Well, here we go. So we have the h minus g of -5. The h is representing my h function. The g is representing my g function. So we can also rewrite this if we want to say we want to know when the h function, when the x value is -5. And we're going to minus when the g function is also at -5. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're going to take the h function, and where we see an x, we're going to put a -5. Okay, we are going to subtract. And when we subtract, I like to have a beginning parenthesis, because now I'm going to take the g function, which is -7x minus 1. I'm going to have my -7, but instead of an x, it's going to be a -5 minus 1. So now it looks like, okay, I can combine things in here before I subtract it. I love how you quote your teacher. That's hilarious. Oh, good, Bridget. All right. So now, maybe I should put this in parentheses too, so it's not so cumbersome. Let's figure out what's supposed to happen in here. So we have a -5 that's being squared, okay? It's not going to be a +5 because first we have to deal with the exponent before we do any kind of multiplication. So what's happening here is we have a negative, then we have -5 squared. That means -5 times -5. Negative times negative gives me a positive, and 5 times 5 gives me 25. Okay. All right, how to know to subtract? Because right here in the beginning it says h minus g. That's how we know we're going to be subtracting. Okay. So now we have a -25 minus 1. So -25 minus 1, that gives me a -26. Because when the signs are the same, you're adding. Okay, okay. Reason why the 25 is in parentheses because they have that negative that's outside, okay? And it will be a -25 because a lot of people, they would square this and say, oh, my answer is 25, 25 minus 1, okay, that's 24. No, because originally there was a minus sign that was in front of the x. We only substituted the x for the -5. Okay, so I put parentheses around that. And then once we got rid of the square, we have this negative. So it's a negative being multiplied to that 25, which gives you a -25. Then we bring down our -1. That's where the -26 comes from. It has a minus sign. That minus sign is going to drop. Now we're going to do what's happening in the second parenthesis. -7 times -5. -7 times -5, a negative times a negative, that does give me a positive. So a positive 35 minus 1. So 35 minus 1, that gives me a 34. Okay. The most important thing about this particular problem is the signage. We have to know the rules about those integers. Okay, if you have problems with those rules, trust and believe. The negative sign gotcha? Yep. To keep your x values in parentheses throughout problems to avoid error. Yes. Okay, so trust me, it's so easy just to get lost in that sauce. Where is it? Okay. So like in my handy dandy notebook, if we notice, okay, when it comes to the rules, when you're adding, when both of them are negative, your answer is going to be negative and you're going to add them together. Like here, by -5 and -14, that gives me a -19. Okay? When you are adding and the positive number is bigger than the subtraction, your answer is going to be positive. So it's basically you're subtracting when the signs are unlike. So 13 minus 6, that's where that 7 comes from. Okay? Same thing, if my largest one is negative and the other one is positive, the signs are different. When the signs are different, you're really subtracting and you're keeping the sign of the largest number. Okay? Yes. So both of them, good, Karen. Both of them are going to be negative. So if we notice, now we have so now we have a -26 and a -34. Both of them are negative. So that means I'm adding them together, but I'm keeping the sign that's negative. So that should be a -7. 60. So that's what the h minus g of -5 equals. So anytime they give you a number for the unknown, you're basically finding an ordered pair. That's what you just found. Okay? That's what you just found. Okay? So basically, your x value is -5, and your result is your y value, which is -60. You found a ordered pair. Oh, I do have plenty of advice. Yes, I do. But I used to give them for free. I'm not giving it for free anymore. Nope. Because every time I give advice for free, people hold on to it like squirrels. And then all of a sudden I come to follow up and they're like, oh, well, you know, the wind changed and I just didn't feel like it. And just can't take that. That just plucks my nerve. Just pluck it. Like, you know, I took time out of my schedule to make sure. So if you do want to chit chat more with tutoring, just message me. Message me. I'll send you a link. We'll set up an appointment. Okay? Because I might add you to my list of tutor friends. Like Robert here, he's a tutor friend of mine as well. So first off, you're here on TikTok. Trust and believe. People are waiting for you. All right? Questions. I think a lot of people just left. They're like, oh, I don't know what she's doing. Okay. So this is basically adding and subtracting functions. Like I said, this is definitely like a 4-point question on your GED. I like in-laws. We don't cross each other to avoid conflicts. Like, we acknowledge that you exist, but, you know, you're not coming to the party. You're not sleeping over. Like, no, we're not going out for lunch. Oh, the in-laws. I used to have in-laws. Yep, not anymore. But that's life. All right. So, if anything, here I go with the shameless plugs. If you like how my notebook is set up, this is a notebook that I actually designed. I'm working on my whole TikTok shop and everything. But I actually just got sick and tired of my students like coming to sessions and like, yeah, there'll be packets of papers everywhere. We're spending 15 to 20 minutes just for them to find what we're supposed to be working on. So I said, look, you guys need to organize it. You need something that's quick and dirty. And what was quick and dirty is this lovely notebook. So if you have any kind of formulas that you need for them to remember, you put the formulas in the formula section. There may be some steps that you might need to take in the steps section. Sometimes it might leak over like this one for more room for formulas. And as you can tell, like I take bits and pieces of worksheets and I'm able to tape them in, as well as I use the other side, which is more of like a grid. And the reason why I use dots, because it makes the graphs look so much nicer. Just so like this. Like it's so much cleaner. I'm able to use it so I have an even distribution for my intervals. That's what I like about it. Okay, I did the same thing for this side for traditional. Now, in addition to this, and you guys saw a snippet of it, is my resources. So here I have a factor sheet. My factor sheet goes to 1 to 200 because I have older kids in mind. Sometimes we go above and beyond what you see in the back of the composition book. Like some of the kids don't even know how to read that, which is hilarious. But this also gives you, as I introduced you, the rules of integers. It also gives you some of the terminology that you mostly see in word problems. Try to figure out what operations. You got your order of operations in the U.S. and also international. Hey, IB. Then we have the properties of exponents. They are really going to town out there. Then we have linear and quadratic. Then we have the properties of quadrilaterals. Then a little bit with area of sector, arc length. Okay, the equation of a circle, volume, surface area. Also the most popular area and perimeters, as well as the unit circle. All right, and then also Pythagorean's theorem, and then SOHCAHTOA, and some of the trig identities. The only thing that's missing is the doubles, which I might be putting it in the newer one, right? And then I have a couple brain break activities in the back, just in case people just need a moment. And a lot of people just need a moment just to kind of veg out just for a second to help refocus. So I have those, as well as if you want to actually have my notes from these lives, I actually made a book called Audrey's Notes. Really inventive. There are 3 books to it. And all you do is basically you can follow along with the information, and you're actually seeing my exact notes from all my lives. And if you notice on some of these pages, most of them have a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it will take you directly to the live that the notes are formed from. So you can actually use it for mediation. You can probably do it for enrichment. People can follow along, and they'll just get everything, bits of information that they can get out of it. Okay, sometimes people just want the actual notes, and hey, like I said, there's another copy. There's like no fun activities and all that stuff, but it's just the notes that I do throughout since February 2nd. Okay, so this is actually what the books, my math notebooks books. This is the first one that I have. This is the 4th one. And then this is the other cover. So 3 different covers, but same materials. These are all my done ones, of course. And you'll just see like how I do it, how I use the formulas, how I use the step section. And then plus you'll have some examples here. And then a couple pages I had blank because a lot of people just got it. But it'll be great for you guys because then it'll give you some extra practice. All right? So we have that. And another thing is AP Stats and Calc Hard. I don't know if, for me it is, but my friend Robert, I'm not sure if he's still here. Robert, the AP Stat guy, or the AP Math. What's your thing, Robert? I was like, I'm still trying to get it. I redid my paper. Robert, the AP Math guy, he's like my guy. If you ever need any kind of AP statistics or AP Calc A, B, or BC, he's like the person to go to. Those practice questions on it, yes, you can actually go to my website. So we'll take another tour to the website. Why not? We're here. So if you go to my profile, Audrey Codner, and you see the website, which is right here, you click on that, and it'll tell you, oh, you're about to open to another open anyway. It's going to take you directly to my website. So if we scroll, we can scroll down, or we can use the navigation, which is off to the side. If we go to the navigation, we can go to where it says Audrey's Books 1 through 3. So Audrey's Notes, it will take you through and you can order it. You can do book 1, book 2, book 3. If you want to do a bundle, I only have the digital copies that are bundles. But if you, because I know if I do it through my self-publishing, it'll take a little time. But if you want it like quick in a hurry, you can also order it through Amazon. Okay, so Amazon does have copies of my books as well. So you can go there. If you are still thinking about joining me starting on Monday, because I have like twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, or at 4:30, or Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. We are going to be going through a whole lot of stuff. We're starting from the very basic on day one. Okay, we're looking at those numbers. We're going to be adding and subtracting, get ourselves familiar with integers, get ourselves familiar a little bit with fractions. And then we're going to grow and progress to go all the way to system of equations, factoring, and try to go for those big 4-point question problems. And if you want to register, you can just click on the Learn More. Then you can scroll down, and then you pick which of the two you want. If you wanted the basic ASVAB, or if you want the bundle, which includes, I added like 2 free tutoring sessions for more one-to-one. Okay, after the 2, it's going to be a general cost of like $45. Okay, so it's going to be up to you what you want to do, because I'm here to help. And I'm telling you, for 24 sessions at $6.13 per session, I know there's some places that are doing it for free, but trust me, because of the pace and because of you not having someone that's going to be like, let's go step by step, there's a reason why you're here, right? What time on Monday? On Mondays at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that's going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I do have the replays of all the sessions. Okay. All right. Other questions? Let me take this back over. I think we guys are back on. Okay. Any additional questions? Let me take a look, actually, while I look at the questions. It's like my old man teacher brought a unit circle clock, but it made no sense, and she got very mad. Well, how can I get the book with those? Okay, that's what I did. Does he help with linear algebra? Yes. Robert, are you still here? If not, definitely reach out to him. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys all the information. Where's Liz? The link again. Oh, just go to my website. Like, seriously, if you go to my website and you just do a couple clicks, it'll take you right there. Okay. All right. No problem. Didn't see when I logged in. Oh, okay. All right. So, Robert, chit chat with iced cubes. That's funny. Because somebody was asking about linear algebra. And then, let me see if I can take us back. All right. So if you find my name, Audrey Codner, Codner. See if I can take us back. All right. So if you find my name, Audrey Codner, Codner, and just the website that's right here. Click on that. And it'll say, do you want to? And you just say, open anyway. And that will take you straight to my website. And if you want, you can just scroll down to where it says, want to pass the GED. And there's a link that says, learn more. There's no link to your website. Yes, there should be. Yep, there should be a link to my website. Okay, hey Lynette. Yeah. Unless TikTok did something new. Had to click twice. Okay. Yeah. Okay, do you see it now? It'd be so much easier if I could just connect the link to my profile in addition to my website, but it has to be one or the other. Because I also have people that are doing it. Okay, did you find it, Maria? Ah, sorry. Like throwing you guys like a rag doll. All right. Okay, all right, awesome. All right, so, and then just talk to me if you guys need any additions. So, like I mentioned before, almost forgot, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Again, it's under my name, Audrey Codner, okay, under ACG Math Tutoring. So I have all of my lives since February 2nd. That's when I started doing all of this. All of my lives are actually in a playlist called TikTok Lives. I know I was really deep with the naming of the platform. So you can go there and give me a moment to upload this one. But any of my live schedule, it is on my profile, but basically Saturdays and Sundays, I'm here at 8:30 p.m., Monday through Thursdays at 9:30 p.m., and on Fridays at 1 p.m. Okay, so I'm available during that time. Now, here are some people that you need to follow. Actually, one of them, I think she's live right now. I gotta take a little quick look. But if anything, I know, right? February 2nd. Here we are in June. It's craziness. If you're thinking about going to nursing and you need help with doing your diagnosis or your dosage calculation, make sure you see a blessed RN. She's awesome with that. She just knows how to break all that down. Another person for the T's, the ASVAB, and the GED, Impact Math 19. That's what Miss Taylor. She usually should be live now, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if she does it on Fridays, yes or no. But if you need a chemistry teacher, she's about to do a lot of camp stuff. Professor TK, she's really good at breaking things down. And if you have younger kids, like to do hands-on activities and all that. So she's been going live with that for a few. And then our friend Learning with the Net. If you want to learn how to add, subtract, multiply, divide with the abacus, make sure you reach out and bond with Learning with the Net. I mean, great stuff. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's making a comeback. She's going to modernize it. I can't wait for her to be rich with this. Then if you have a pre-K or a kindergarten homeschooler, if you're thinking about homeschooling your child and you need some assistance, my friend Nancy, she's known as the online elementary tutor. She does well with reading and with math for the little kiddos. So if you just say, you know what, I really want my child to do some more reading, and that's what's happening. A lot of people are giving our kids a lot more screen time, but sometimes you need someone to break down reading, okay? Get them excited about reading again. And then again, we have Robert, AP Statistics, Calculus. That's Calc A, B, B, C, all of that. A, B, C, all the way to the double Y's and double Z's, right? So Robert, the AP math guy, finally got him on TikTok. I'm so happy about this. He's going to be doing some more videos, but we need for him to come live. So if you can follow him, that will be amazing. All right. So as usual, so I do have private tutoring. If you need a tutor, go ahead. If you want to get the math notebooks, if you want more of a self-paced course instead of what we're doing starting next week, definitely visit my website, okay, acgmathtutoring.com, just to break all these concepts down for you, okay? Michael keeps coming after my abacus. I know! Like, this is what happens when you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like, I gotta draw this. Like, half sleep. All right. Not a problem. I'm telling you on that. It's like some good stuff. Okay, there are topics in both that are more difficult than others. Yes. Yes. So, hey, this is what's happening. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Again, follow these guys. And I'm not just doing a follow just for Friday. I try to promote this as much as I can. When I see great people and I see that people need a little assistance and I know of people that can do it, I share that information. And I know for most people, it'll be like, all right, I got to put a price tag to it. I just feel like, look, I need for you guys to get off your butts, get rid of this math, not get rid of it, but, get past this math barrier so the world can see your greatness. The world needs your greatness, okay? We need your greatness. So I need for you to step up. I need for you to put those insecurities on the back burner and let's get this test and let's rock and roll, all right? So for people that did sign up already, you should be getting an email from me with the link and the welcome and just basic stuff that you need, which is, paper, pencil. The books are acting crazy, but I'm going to see if I can resubmit the book so you guys can get it by Monday morning. Okay? All righty. I am done. Yep, if you did well in algebra, yes. Oh, thanks, Michael. There's a thing called that started in the 1970s. Female math block? What is that? I feel like I'm out of the loop. Or maybe it's named something. Is that me? Am I the drama? Am I the one losing my mind? All right. No. Oh, okay. Well, I am losing my mind, but we'll talk about that later. All right. So that is it for me for today. I'm going to wrap up. I know you guys don't have too many questions because I've been bombarding you with so much information. So enjoy your weekend. Please be safe. Continue to be awesome people. Just be safe, everything, and check up on people that you haven't heard from in a long time, because you never know. They might just need a friendly voice, okay? They might just need a friendly voice. So check up on your friends. Check up even the friend that you had, that one little friend that you played on the playground with years ago. If you remember their first and last name, just look on Facebook. You never know. They might be there, or maybe even Instagram. And then just say, I just wanted to drop a nice little hi and see how you're doing. Just something small like that could mean so much. All right. All right, guys. Have a good one. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 8:30, which we're going to be doing multiplying and dividing functions. We're going to keep it in the function family. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.